APN, the daily English news broadcasting service brought to your Conference Network today, Friday, 25th of May 2017. For me, your daily English news host, Mr. Sajid Chalar, greeting with Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Headlines from the APN by the help of our blogger in Myanmar. CSOS calls foreign probe into right abuses. Burma Army investigation denies atrocities. Portrait of Myanmar Buddhist bin Laden shields gangs. UN agencies denounce as a lack of access to undocumented Rohingyas in Bangladesh. Children dying in Myanmar because of malnutrition. UN. The details are as follows. Civil society of organization CSOS in Myanmar urged the government to fully cooperate with United Nations mission to probe into alleged human rights violation in country's ethnic areas, including Western Rakhine State. Myanmar rebuffed in March the UN decision to send an international fact-finding mission to the country to establish the fact and circumstances of the alleged violations by military and security forces and abuses against Rohingya Muslims in particular. 50 CSOS, mostly based in Myanmar's ethnic areas, on Thursday said the mission is important for the people of Myanmar and their shared struggle for rule of law and human rights. The Burmese army announced on May 23rd, 2017 that its investigation into alleged military abuses in Rakhine State uncovered now to wrongdoing except in two minor incidents. Human Rights Watch said today the army's failure to find its troops responsible for any serious abuses against ethnic Rohingya since October 2016 in northern Rakhine State demonstrates the urgent need for Burma's government to allow unfettered access to the United Nations International Fact-Finding Mission. The Burmese Army's denial of well-documented abuses shows unvarnished contempt for truth, accountability and respect for human rights, said Phil Robertson, Deputy Asia Director. The Army's approach highlights the need for Aung San Suu Kyi's government to allow the UN fact-finding mission into Burma and to call on the Army to provide full access to conflict areas. The Army investigation teams led by Lieutenant General A. Wing of the Office of Commander-in-Chief reportedly interviewed approximately 2,875 villagers in 29 villages in Rakhine State's Mangdo Township from February 10 to March 4. The team said it recorded the testimonies of 408 villagers and interviewed more than 200 soldiers and the members of the border guard police. However, to have interviewed the number of the villagers each claims to have spoken to, the team would have had to interview at least 125 people each day while in Rakhine State. Barbet Schroeder spent months with Uganda dictator Idi Amin at the height of his power, when corpses would worship every morning on the shores of Lake Victoria, and Kampala was live with rumors that he was eating his opponent. But in his decade of documenting evil, the veteran Swiss filmmaker says he has never been as scared by anyone as he was by a Myanmar Buddhist monk named Wiratho. I'm afraid to call him Wiratho because even his name scares me. The highly acclaimed dictator told AFP, I just call him W. The venerable W is chilling portrait of the monk who has been accused of preaching hate and inciting attack on Myanmar Muslims. Rohingya minority has been hailed by critics at the Cannes Film Festival as a stirring documentary about ethnic cleansing in action. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, on Tuesday decried lack of access to around 200,000 undocumented Rohingya Muslims in Bangladesh, including the nearly 74,000 recently arrived members of the minority from neighboring Myanmar. At a press conference in Dhaka, officials from the UN Refugee Agency ruled that despite the heavy influx of Rohingyas into Bangladesh following the October 2016 attack on the minority in Myanmar, Bangladeshi authorities have limited the agency's work to two camps that do not include these displaced members of the community. UNHCR representative in Bangladesh, Shinji Kubu, said that they have not received official permission for access to Rohingya outside the camp. He added the UN agency's appeal to Bangladeshi authorities to secure access to undocumented Rohingya outside the camp has fallen on deaf ears so far. The United Nations Children's Agency's UNICEF has revealed that as many as 150 children under 5 are dying each day in Myanmar, while 30% suffer from moderate or severe malnutrition. In a shock report, the agency says world poverty and underdevelopment in a remote part of Myanmar are preventing children from reaping the benefit of reform since the country began opening to the world in 2010 after half a century of military rule. For an estimated 2.2 million children, the promise of peace remains unfulfilled, leaving their hopes for a better future violated by poverty, lack of opportunity, and the ever-present fear of violence, UNICEF says in the just released report. So this is enough for today from APN English News Service. Thank you for watching our APN News. Please stay tuned for more updates. They are still to come up next as every day as usual by the help of different news agencies from around the world or even the Rohingya blogger. Thank you again. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. Bye bye. See you for the cause of the nation. If you like our APN, please visit our website as www.arkanpressnetwork.com.